As a public defender, Judge Karen fought for her client's rights. She was elected to the bench because she believes in doing the right thing.
I'm very passionate about helping people, period.
Y'all two grown people need to get your own house.
Right.
You had 7 years to have told him that. When we fight, who's gonna win?
You are.
I don't answer questions, I ask them.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand.
Objective, independent justice.
I'm ready to rule.
If you keep walking, you can overcome whatever circumstances you're facing.
This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Terrence Crowder is suing his college friend Asia Ramirez in the amount of $750. Mr. Crowder claims the defendant was supposed to bring her cute friend to his beach party and says she did the exact opposite.
Mr. Crowder, you're suing Ms. Ramirez for $750 for breach of contract, is that right?
That's right.
And what's your relationship with the defendant?
We met in college. We were friends back then.
Okay.
And I had invited her to a beach house I had rented on Jersey Shore for a weekend. And she wasn't able to pay for the charge. She said she had already made other travel plans and wasn't able to pay for it.
Was she supposed to pay for a room in the house you rented?
Yeah, so the room, I told her it was going to cost $750
Okay.
if she wanted
How many
the room.
rooms are in the house?
There were 4.
Okay. Was there a condition in consideration for not having to pay rent?
Yeah.
What was that condition?
She offered to bring her friend Danielle, who she knew I was really into, and we had like connected before. So I was like, yeah, I agreed that I'd comp the room for her if she brought her friend Danielle.
So did you say I'm going to bring my friend Danielle? Was that an agreement that I'm going to bring my friend Danielle?
So what actually happened, Your Honor, was the agreement was for me to bring 2 attractive friends.
Oh, to bring 2 good-looking girls.
To bring 2 attractive friends.
Was that what it was? Bring 2 good-looking girls, and you hoped that one of them was Danielle?
No, not at first.
No?
The initial text messages we put through, she said, well, if I bring some hot friends, could I have the room comped? And I said, if one of them is Danielle, yeah, that would be fine.
All right, so your understanding was that you're going to bring 2 hot girls, one of them needs to be Danielle.
Yeah.
And you're saying, no, it didn't have to be Danielle, just 2 good-looking girls.
Yes, so I
Did you talk to Danielle, see if she wanted to come?
Yes, I did. So what actually happened was that I did tell him that Danielle was one of the women that I was bringing.
Okay.
That wasn't part of the agreement. Part of the agreement was just 2 hot women.
Okay.
Danielle got sick the day of the party. She did have a food poisoning issue.
Okay.
So
Did
she
you
wasn't
tell
able
the
to make it.
plaintiff, listen, I can't bring Danielle today?
So yes.
She told you that?
Yeah. She told me.
All right.
And she said she was going to replace her with another girl
hot
that I really like. Yeah.
Right.
And,
You just wanted to have good-looking girls at the party.
Essentially, yeah.
All right. So what happens with this girl? What becomes the problem with the girl?
She was in like a one-piece.
Right.
And there was like hair coming out of there was hair everywhere.
Right.
And I hadn't seen that before, and I did, yeah.
Okay. And so she hadn't shaved.
No.
Okay.
I went to talk to Asia, and I was just like, hey, the guys are like pretty upset, weirded out about this. And
so how were you going to fix it? To tell her to leave?
We had like razors and shavers and like a buzzer she could use, whatever she needed, you know.
Did you go over and say this to her?
Not me personally, no. I talked to Asia.
Okay. Asia, did you see this girl?
Yes.
What did you think about the fact that she was unshaven?
I thought nothing of it. I thought that personally it wasn't something that I would do, but she was comfortable in her body.
Can I see a picture? Did somebody? I need a picture.
Yeah.
I know somebody took pictures.
I'm not trying to embarrass her, but I do have a picture.
What's going on with the bottom of the bathing suit?
Well, as you can tell, there's just hair coming out, and
that's not hair, is it? That's hair that I'm seeing around the legs?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You thought that was okay?
She felt comfortable in her body.
Right.
It's not my place to tell her anything about it.
Right. So you didn't.
She's never thought that before. She's a promoter. She's never brought a girl around that would do that.
Right.
Like,
Have you ever brought a girl around that didn't shave?
Yes, I have.
You have?
But not to
But was
that
it
extent.
requested?
No, it was not requested.
Oh, okay. So you have brought. How many times you brought a girl that didn't shave?
I would probably say a couple of times,
Okay.
just probably not to that extent, to the point where it was noticeable.
It comes all down her leg. I mean, I thought she had on pantyhose. That's really heavy duty there. Almost like a little bear.
She felt very comfortable with herself.
Right.
I'm not one to judge her.
Exactly.
She's a woman. That's just part of being a woman.
Right. So why didn't you just ask her to leave?
She left on her own eventually.
How much time passed after the first encounter?
There was a few hours.
So she was at the pool party a few hours.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what were those few hours of the pool party like? People still drinking, weren't they?
Yeah,
I bet you they were drinking. They were eating, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and they were in the pool.
Yeah.
And nobody else left. Nobody said, well, oh, no, I got to get out of here. I can't deal with it. Did anybody say that? I'm leaving.
No, they didn't end up leaving, but
Okay.
the party was essentially ruined. It took over the party.
It wasn't ruined because they ate, they drank, they swam, and they stayed. Couldn't have been ruined. Couldn't have been ruined.
She was the only thing anybody talked about all night.
Well, y'all had something to talk about. Because let me tell you, we'd have still been talking about this today with my friends if somebody showed up like this.
You see my point then?
Coming up on Supreme Justice.
Is she here, this lady?
Yes.
Is that Tracy Sanders?
Yes, that would be Tracy.
Okay, the court calls Tracy Sanders.
And later,
And so it shaded our pool and started dropping avocados into our pool, causing significant damage and causing
What
a lot
kind of
of
damage
maintenance.
did avocados cause?
Oh, they clogged our pool.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Terrence Crowder, who is suing Asia Ramirez for breach of contract.
Is she here, this lady?
Yes.
Is
she
that
here.
Tracy Sanders?
Yes, that would be Tracy.
Okay, the court calls Tracy Sanders. Raise your right hand. Higher. Let me see underneath your underarms. Keep going. Higher up. Higher. Okay, I don't see anything now. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you take a stand over here next to the defendant? On the other side of her, ma'am.
Okay.
So you came here shaven today?
I did, yeah.
Right. So why did you come here shaven and you didn't show up at the party shaven?
Well, because I had tons of time to prepare. I was invited to the party last minute.
Right.
And usually I get a waxing. And I wasn't going to get razor bumps just to go to this party.
Right.
So that's why I'm clean shaven today.
Right. It seems that your preference is to be shaven.
It is.
So it just seems to me that if your preference is to be shaven and you knew you were being invited to a pool party, you would say, I can't go. Right?
Right.
Why didn't you just say, I can't go?
Well, I believe as a woman,
Right.
we should feel comfortable in our body
Right.
with hair or no hair.
Right. So how much is too much? Is there such a thing as too much?
I don't think so.
No. So hair in the nose, lots of nose hair, is that okay?
That's okay if you feel
What about out of
comfortable.
the ears? You know, the hair that comes out of the ears, is that,
If you feel beautiful
that's okay?
and you feel
and on
comfortable.
the chin hair all underneath here, is that good?
I'm all for beards.
A
Yes.
beard, mustache on a girl,
Yes.
that's good?
It's all
you
good.
even have your eyebrows arched.
Yes.
So you even think that right, but look
Yes.
how well you presented today.
Right.
You're shaving everywhere. Even your eyebrows are done better than mine. I haven't even had mine
Yeah.
done. And yours are done.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You got your legs all shaven today?
Yeah, Your Honor. So I was, like I said, I was invited last minute. I was
Right.
not able to get a waxing.
But you wanted to get a waxing. So it just seems to me you knew that it would be more appropriate to wax.
I only had a little armpit hair.
Right.
I did not think that was
No,
an
this is the
issue.
picture. Did you see the picture they showed me from that day? You look like a bear.
Yeah.
You look like a little baby bear in this
Yeah.
picture. That was
I-
not a little bit of nothing.
I didn't think it was an issue.
Yeah, right. Well, you knew
Yeah.
it was. So what happened when they accosted you about it at the party?
Yeah, Terrence and his friends demeaned me as a woman.
What did they do? What did they say?
They treated me like an animal.
What?
They,
I didn't mean to laugh.
yes.
What did they say?
They gave Asia shaving cream and a
Right,
razor
right.
to give to me to
Right.
shave so I could stay at the party. I did not think that was right.
Right.
I do not think he should be rewarded
Right.
for that type of behavior.
But why didn't you leave the party?
I did eventually leave the party.
I heard you left several hours later.
That's not true, Your Honor.
How soon after everything happened did you leave?
Probably within the hour.
Oh, okay, so maybe it was the other people that stayed. Is that right?
Excuse me?
Your friends stayed. We agreed that all your friends stayed there. They had a good time at the party.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, things have changed a lot in the world, and what's proper and improper, and what a woman should do and should be. But one thing is that a man is supposed to be a gentleman. And no man should come up to a woman and say, I think you need to go shave.
So I just talked to a
I
friend.
am talking now. That is not the gentlemanly thing to do. You don't go say anything to a woman if she had body odor, if she needed to shave. That's not something that a gentleman would ever say to a woman. And to hand her a razor, you ought to be ashamed of yourself because you do not know how to be gracious to a guest in your home. She kept her part of the bargain. She bought you a good-looking girl. It's a good-looking girl right here. You didn't say make sure she's shaving. Okay? I'm ready to rule. Judgment for the defendant. Good
Your
luck.
Honor, I have one more.
All rise.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
This was a victory for women everywhere.
I traded a room in my rental house for my friend's services. This is why you don't hire friends.
Coming up,
So we'd been going back and forth for months. I offered to have my landscapers trim the portion of the tree over my yard.
Did she say, let me let some folks trim the tree?
They trim the tree. No, they don't trim. They chop the tree.
Okay, but
They
why
chop it
didn't
down.
you trim back the tree? Why didn't you do it?
you're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Grace Diaz is suing her neighbor Yvette Kensley in the amount of $748.37. Ms. Diaz claims the defendant wouldn't stop complaining about her avocado tree and says Ms. Kensley butchered the tree before an arborist could trim it.
Ms. Diaz, you're suing Ms. Kensley for $748.37 for negligently cutting down your tree?
Yes.
Okay, so you two are neighbors?
She moved to the next door a couple years ago. Our backyard was for a little fence, what I owned.
Okay.
Divide for a little fence where I owned.
Okay, so let me ask her. You moved in and there was a little fence between the two of you in the back?
We installed a concrete wall for privacy.
Okay.
And I think that's where she started to really sour, our relationship soured. She
Right.
called the city inspector on our house. and
Right.
had-
How do you know she called?
She told us.
Oh, you called the inspector?
Because she put a big, higher concrete wall
Right.
between.
Well, 6 feet is what the law
divide
says,
our
right?
backyard.
Okay, was it 6 feet?
It's exactly 6
Okay,
feet.
she didn't get cited for that, so you were wrong about that, right?
Yeah, and that was horrible.
Right, but she had a right to do that. Do you have
concrete.
pictures of it?
Yeah,
Your
I have
Honor,
a
let me see a
picture to
picture.
show you. That's horrible.
So then what happened with this tree?
We've gone back and forth. After the concrete wall was installed, the tree started, I assumed the tree would grow above and stay on a straight course, but it
Right.
started to overgrow, and as you'll see in the photos of the home, the garden is quite overgrown. And so it shaded our pool and started dropping avocados into our pool, causing significant damage and causing
What
a lot
kind of
of
damage did avocados cause?
Oh, they clogged
to your
our pool.
Coming up,
Okay, but I never heard of an arborist that's cutting an avocado tree just a little bit at a time over a month's period.
you're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Grace Diaz, who is suing Yvette Kensley for negligence.
So we'd been going back and forth for months. I offered to have my landscapers trim the portion of the tree over my yard.
Did she say, let me let some folks trim the tree?
They trim the tree. No, they don't trim. They chop the tree.
Okay, but
They
why
chop it
didn't
down.
you trim back the tree? Why didn't you do it?
What I didn't do it because I hired arborists to do professional.
You hired an arborist?
To do professional job.
Okay, so you hired somebody who was an arborist and also a tree trimmer too?
He do a little bit because he make assessment to do time at a time and 4 weeks. And I was agreeing.
He's going to take 4 weeks time to trim an avocado tree this
Yes.
small? You
That's
got,
what he told me.
Do you have any information about this
Yes,
arborist, or what do you got on
him? He make assessment, and the assessment is with you, Your Honor.
Okay, but I never heard of an arborist that's cutting an avocado tree just a little bit at a time over a month's period.
Because you know the avocados are seasonal.
Not they're seasonal.
And I want nobody that much make avocados because there was summertime.
Right.
And avocados coming up in March or May.
Right.
And I need the avocados were little.
So you made the decision that he would cut it a little bit at a time. He didn't suggest that.
No, he suggested. He suggested to do that.
Okay. And you?
We'd gone back and forth, and she had made promises and not come through on cutting the tree.
But
so
she said, I want to get the tree cut. Did she tell you about the 4 weeks?
the 4 weeks she told me, but I thought it was an excuse.
Okay, did you ask her if you could talk to the arborist? Because she had an arborist. Maybe I can call and make sure what you're telling me makes sense, anything like that?
No.
Okay,
no.
you didn't do that.
I didn't.
So what happens is what? You end up what? Cutting down a tree?
Not myself. My landscaper was in the yard, and I described the situation. He saw the overgrowth.
Right.
And then he mentioned he knew somebody.
All right, so did you pay somebody to cut the tree to this position
I did,
here?
yeah.
Okay,
I
so
paid $200.
you cut it off your side of the property.
Correct, yeah.
But what's wrong with this? What are you suing for here?
Because I need to pay the harvest now. 748 when she already done the job. And the arborist is going to come up to done the job.
Right.
And now
But
I need to pay him.
the arborist wouldn't have been cutting her side because she's responsible for her side.
But it looks horrible.
I understand that, but your arborist was not to cut her side, it was to cut your side, right?
Yes, but the whole tree.
Judge Karen's verdict when Supreme Justice returns. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
But you understand that if there was going to be any cutting of the tree on her side, there had to have been an agreement with her to allow the cutting to happen on her side.
I told her.
No, you don't tell her. It's can we agree?
Well, I told her and.
Okay, well, so you didn't get an agreement.
No, I
with
don't.
her.
I don't
Okay.
do that.
All right, let's talk about what the law says. The law says that you have a right to cut back a tree that's growing on your side as long as you don't kill or harm the tree.
Right.
Doesn't look like it's dead. And you didn't bring me any arborist report to say that it's been harmed. I'm ready to rule. Case dismissed. Good luck to you.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case has been dismissed.
I thank the court for seeing the logic in the actions that I took.
Thank you, Your Honor, for understanding what I need to do with my neighbor.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.